if you have questions. All right, so I don't know if you guys saw the headline, but there is a new NAFTA deal called the United States Mexico Canada Agreement. Little, maybe I guess I don't know if that's any different than North America Free Trade Agreement, but I guess the idea is that NAFTA never was really about a truly free trade agreement, and this is not either. But it's an interesting agreement in that it certainly helps, has a lot more protections in place and a lot more enforcement around it. And I think that was kind of the big deal. Canada was kind of up against it to get something done because they did not want to be left out in the cold between the United States and Mexico on the 30th with that new world leader, with Mexico getting a new leader in at starting at the end of November, December 1, I believe. And with that, you see the market is booming higher. We got the S&P up about 20, the NASDAQ up almost 1%, the Dow up 0.8%, VIX 1166. This is a much lower VIX than we've seen in this is about as low as we've gotten. We've touched lower. We got briefly down about 1110 on the 21st, 1131, but the last time we got real low, this is kind of a fake, was 8.9. But I think that there's decent odds of getting a deeply lower VIX. I do think we're set up for something like that. And you could see vol come off, especially if we creep a little higher. I don't mean a lot higher, like, 22, 23. I think we could make a run. If you look at SPX, I don't see why we wouldn't be able to touch, the next line in the sand is going to be the recent high, which is 29.40. So we could see another 5.45, 6 points today without a problem, and probably without seeing volatility increase. All right, this was a pretty big game changer in terms of overall market. It means a lot. It strengthens, it really makes the U.S. case to continue to put pressure on China a lot harder, and it's worse for the Chinese. Speaking of the Chinese, their market continues to stall. There was some really bad manufacturing data out recently, and you can see volatility kind of falling off the rails for China. So, that's kind of an interesting piece in the whole topic. We're going to talk about Tesla briefly during the Mark and Andrew show at 10 Central. Obviously, right back to 310. So this could be kind of a fun, interesting discussion. But also GE replacing its CEO. You can see it's up nicely on that news. And there's some Campbell Soup talk still. So that's another name that I'm watching. But really, those have been kind of the big stories of the day. And then, just what are the chip makers doing? Amazon back above 2,000, but check out NVIDIA. I said it's probably going to 300. Well, nice move today. Blew through my 280 calendar. I would shut it down earlier, and I'm going to play around with maybe setting something else up around the 300 strike, believe it or not. I'm going to look at Apple, which is booming higher. Apple having a nice day. It's up 1.3%. And, we'll play around with some of the other chips. Looking at the individual sectors, you notice that everything's up except for utilities and consumer cyclicals, the ones you'd expect. Strongest players, industrials, financials, energy, building materials. Surprisingly, technology kind of not leading the way. So a lot of industrial leading much higher. I think we're heading for a sub 11.5 VIX. You can see VVIX 86. This might be the lowest we've seen for VVIX in a very long time. And that could drag we're 86. When was the last time we were anywhere near there? Probably, yeah. So we touched on the 20th, and we got down in there in early August. But VIX definitely the demand. There's definitely some option sellers if one is looking to sell options. VIX futures are trading at a nice premium. We've got 16 trading days left, and October is 2 full points too high. That spread is ridiculously wide, and that is something I'd be looking for to potentially collapse, and sets up a lot of interesting trades that I will be looking at today. All right, folks, if you have questions, you can email me, mark@optionpit.com, or you can call me 888-TRADE-01. Have a great morning.